All right. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Average Takes. Today, we're bringing you a recap of the weekend in the NFL. We got week 3 in the books, just about. We still got a Monday night game, but we're recording this Sunday night after Sunday night football ended. And I wanted to wait till that game fully ended because of how bad it was. And I was sure there was going to be some last second flips, and there was. So
There
we'll get into the
was.
games, all of them that we've seen so far. And yeah, let's go. You all right? What's up? Welcome back, guys.
Disappointing week.
Yeah, I
Very
did. I didn't
disappointing.
even get a "we're back" today from you. I
No,
think
because
that's
we're
it.
not
That's
we're
the.
not feeling it.
I think that's the first time in a long time. Maybe the first time
Yeah.
ever.
I
You
was
need
so
to come.
excited, so excited for this football season, and it's turning out to be a shithole for me.
Well, to me, what I really got to take away from all these games is that a lot of teams kicked off the rust. Some teams still haven't. It seems
It's
like that preseason rust is finally off for some teams, and the rest of the league, it seemed like they were in the preseason.
yeah, it's always hard kind of judging these teams early because week 13, week 14 comes. One of these teams that lost to a sleeper team all of a sudden just dominates one of the best teams in the league. We always see stupid shit like this happen in the NFL, and it always pisses me off. But this week was a wild one, especially last week. I thought was wild. This week was even more wild.
The
Some of these
witching hour,
scores,
it's been pretty crazy. The witching hour
yeah,
lit
So
like back to back weeks. Um, and I say the witching hour because a lot of us watch Red Zone as football fans, but the witching hour is the last hour of the first games, basically from 10 o'clock to one, or yeah, from 10 o'clock our time to 1 o'clock is the first slate of games. But from 12 to 1, that's the witching hour. That's when wins become losses and losses turn to wins, as Scott Hansen would say. So yeah, that's basically what it was. Again, we could start talking about these games. Chenny, I want you to start off with the Thursday night game because I know how much you love that. But
uh,
from that game going forward, they were all wild.
I just want to say the injury bug was very present today all
Was
around the
was
NFL.
present.
that's
Absolutely.
what
People
happens when
were
you don't play preseason.
week 3, people were going down like flies. It's
It was the
crazy.
it was the first week that I was like, holy cow! Multiple guys on the same team, multiple injuries just all around the league. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
last week we lost Trey Lance to a devastating injury, but it hadn't been like much up to that. And then this week it seemed like there was a lot of injuries.
Yep.
Not good.
But all right,
Not good.
Thursday night. I know it seems like a long time ago.
It really does.
It does because this was a long Sunday. But
Yep.
Thursday night we had as a podcast the Steelers sweeping. There was no way
Average
we
takes
thought
curse.
Jacoby Brissett and the Browns, after losing a devastating game that Nick Chubb basically fumbled away. Like, yeah, he scored a touchdown, but last week during the Jets game, Chubb just, instead of cashing it, taking a knee, letting the clock run out, scores a touchdown. Jets came back, whatnot. But this week versus Steelers, it was just like a terrible outing. The first half. Second half is when the Browns kind of kicked up a notch, and then the Steelers were just not getting anything going. Like the ball wasn't moving, it seemed like to me.
We
Mhm.
just
Um,
plateau so fucking fast. Like the first quarter, first drive, we're a terrible first drive team. Like we don't score in the first quarter ever. And we get up, we get momentum, and all of a sudden we just flatten out,
Toast.
flat. And if it doesn't go back up again, we're screwed. We're getting behind in these games. I mean, yeah, I like Mitch, but I would love to see Kenny play. But I would love to
that was
see
going to be my question. You beat me to the point. Last week I asked you, Mitch, Kenny, where we
Is it that time yet?
that time yet? This week, I wanted to ask you the same question. If you were the head coach, Trevor, where's your mind at after that outing?
Well, I listened to I hopped in Jersey Jerry's Spaces hour that he had. A lot of Steelers fans kind of had some interesting points. Kenny Pickett was a fifth-year guy coming out of college. He is the most matured quarterback probably that was in the draft. So why waste a year and let him kind of screw up? But the Steelers weeks like 6 through 12 or something, we have a fucking gauntlet. We play literally the best teams in the league all back to back to back weeks. It's going to be brutal. And I don't want to see him necessarily struggle in that atmosphere. I would rather let Mitch kind of.
I think that's from week 5, Shinny. After next week, you guys play the Jets.
Yeah, the Jets, and then after that is a fucking.
It's a nightmare for
gauntlet.
You guys. Bills, Bucks, Dolphins, Eagles, and then you go back to Saints, Bengals, Colts, Falcons, Ravens. But those games right there, 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row, that's like hell on earth.
4 in a row, and TJ is only going to be back for 2 of them. Hopefully, we don't really know. Yeah, at best, 2 of them, and he's such a difference maker. And it seems like the Browns are just picking on everyone but our superstars, which I mean makes sense. That's how you game plan. That's how you win. But our corners are fucking terrible. The guys look like they're doing dance class out there, just fucking doing twists and shit. It looks ugly.
Made Jacoby Brissett look pretty good.
Jacoby Brissett looked like a modern day fucking
21 for 31.
I don't even know who to call him.
220 yards, 2 touchdowns.
He looked like Donovan McNabb prime.
Wasn't a bad day for him.
Wasn't bad. What I wanted to bring up was a couple years ago. Now I'm gonna dig back into your football brains here a little bit. So just sit back and relax for a second. A couple years ago, the Colts, I switched the subject a little bit. The Colts make a trade for Jacoby Brissett to be a quarterback in their quarterback room. Since then, they've also gone out and got Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan. Were all of those mistakes? Would the Colts be better today if they just kept Brissett? Probably. I mean, it's hard to say that now today because
today
I was thinking about this yesterday or the day before yesterday. Today, different story because the Colts have an upset of the weekend, in which I want to get into next. Why I brought this up, but I wanted this to work out because I think if you before today's game, you say, yeah, you probably stick with them. You get your draft picks, you rebuild a little bit, because Matt Ryan had made no sense so far this year. Like it didn't work. First 2 games were terrible. They got shut out by the Jags. Then all of a sudden this week, today's game, the Colts had a weird line set versus the Chiefs. It was at plus 5.5 for the Colts. In a week that you got shut out by the Jags, it should be like 14 points versus the Chiefs. So that should have been a red flag there.
Vegas knew something we didn't.
They made a lot of people money today. But Colts end up grinding out a W versus the Chiefs. Like this was not seen at any point of this game. I really thought the Chiefs were going to win. And I think at all points of the game until the end. I mean, the Chiefs play like they normally do. It's a sloppy game of football, but the Colts just defense decided we're going to bend, not break today. And, I think it had a lot to do with Kelce. Travis Kelce dropped a lot of passes today, and it's very unorthodox of him to do that because he's not known to drop passes. But it seemed like when I was watching Red Zone, every time he was on the screen, he dropped the pass. I felt like he had 5 drop balls today. But it was a game that doesn't make any sense to me because the Colts didn't even play that great offensively either. Like usually we always say to beat the Chiefs, you have to really beat the Chiefs. You have to air it out there and all this stuff. The score was
They scored-
20-17.
They scored twice, and it was the same guy both times.
Yeah, who I never even heard of.
Exactly. It's just super weird. Chiefs play today. I didn't really watch that game. Saw the red zone clips a little bit, but yeah, Matty Ice
barely
didn't
saw
have a
them
good
on the
game
red
on
zone.
paper. I know that's what I'm saying, but wild. Came out of left field.
Didn't seem like the Chiefs were connecting at all today. I mean, you saw Patrick Mahomes and Eric Bieniemy get into it during right before halftime as the team is walking into the tunnel for half.
I saw that, and that might have lost them the game.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Pat might have got
Knew what he was
angry and
doing.
ended up losing it in his head. But like Pat was saying, he's like, you got to let me get a shot there. Like at
tempo is something I've noticed in a lot of these teams' offenses. They
you
look
have
like
to get going.
shit,
But
and then all of a sudden,
right before the half, they ran the ball to just end the half. Like, get the ball in Mahomes' hands and
let him cook, bro.
Yeah,
like,
let's try to
get
make
momentum on our side.
Go ahead and finish before I interrupted, Chinny. What you were saying?
No, just it takes one drive to get this like offenses going, and some of these offenses never get going. They're turning the engine over, and they're just not starting up. It's crazy. But once it starts, you're like, oh, where's this been all fucking game? Fucking crazy. I hate the NFL.
Jonathan Taylor didn't really get it going until the second half of the game. And it was really Matt Ryan had no turnovers. I think they kept him on his feet a lot of the game too. I didn't see him down too much. I'll check the box score. Actually got sacked 5 times. Let me retract that statement.
I feel like that was the same Matty Ice on the Falcons, though. He always wins the ones you don't think he's gonna win.
Yeah, that might be true. That might just be a little bit of Matty Ice touch right there.
Or he's feeling a lot of pressure. They're 0-3 or whatever, 0-2-1.
Yeah.
They lost 2 division games, whatever, tied 1, lost 1. And then Matty Ice, my job's on the line. I gotta nut up. And
yeah. I gotta get 1 out of the next freaking 2.
He beats the Chiefs. What no one thought was gonna happen. Miles' best bet.
Miles' best bet, literally. Wow.
Well, a game that I didn't think, or probably anybody thought that was gonna pan out the way it did, was Dolphins beating the Bills.
No.
Hey man, this Dolphins team might be real. They've had a great defense for coming of years. It seems like the last 2-3 seasons they've had a really, really strong defense. And I mean, yeah, they had Brian Flores, who that's what he's known for, having strong defenses. But this year they finally have made strides. I know they traded for Tyreek Hill, but
he didn't even do
real
shit today.
Game changer who might not be getting enough talk about for the Dolphins. And his name is not Tyreek. His name's not Waddle. His name's not Tua Tagovailoa.
Now I'm my brain's
You
dead.
named
Now,
everyone
I was
I know
thinking
on the
Tua.
Dolphins,
I was thinking Tua.
He's not a player. That's why.
He's a coach.
Mike McDaniels is the best unknown thing the Dolphins got going for him. Yeah, everyone's saying, oh, it's the play. This guy is just absolutely taunting and traumatizing defenses out there.
He
is such a nut job.
Yes.
With offenses. Like, he is absolutely insane the way he draws up these plays. We talked about it last year with the 49ers. They had some of the wildest offensive plays that I had ever seen drawn up for special players. And basically what he's done is turn that into a fucking offense that has double, because they use Waddle and Tyreek the way they used Debo last year. Like, those guys are all over the field. They might not be running it as much because they're not as big and thick of a human as Debo is, but they're used absolutely perfect in that offense. I know Waddle wasn't used as much, but he had a game like winning catch that was like a 50-yarder.
Yeah.
But this was a game of 2 good defenses. That's what it really was. And the offenses are good, but I think the defenses showed out. Holding the Bills to 19 points, it's hard to do.
And you had a butt safety
and you had a butt safety at the end of the game. Thank you for fucking bringing that up, Trevor, because I probably would have
Butt safety. That was funny.
butt safety when you fucking have the ball on the 1 yard line with a minute left. The absolute worst thing to do is kick it directly into somebody's ass. That's the worst thing to do. And hand up, because I could laugh about this because I've played football before. I'm an offensive lineman. I've had that happen to me exactly before. And the funny thing is I had my friend who was the kicker, Cody, hit me up and he goes, Bob, you know what this feels like? Like, yeah, you done it to me multiple times too. It wasn't just once. I believe it was twice. I'm pretty sure it happened twice. He kicked me. But for them not to lose this game and that still happen is phenomenal.
And their quarterback went down early.
Well, so this is where it gets
pretty
sticky.
Crazy.
Because that's a concussion in all day the book. He should have been ruled out.
Miami's about to get fined.
Yeah, the NFL did announce that they are going to look into the testing, and now they could get screwed. Did they even test him? They just give him a little break, a little nap.
It's because Tua was saying that his back was hurting. So like, all right, it's your back, not your head. If you say you're fine, you're fine. I feel like that's what happened.
Schefter tweeted, he's like, "Oh, Tua out with a concussion or questionable to return," and I was like, "Oh, Bill's about to go off."
Did you see what happened?
Oh my God, he got up, took a couple steps, fell right back down.
Yeah, so this is a scary thing about football is head injuries, and the NFL has done a great job of like slowing down concussions in the last year. Maybe they've hit it. I don't know what the NFL is doing because concussions are concussions. It happens every day, even in practice. But there hasn't been as many concussions the past couple of years. This one was bad. That was a blatant concussion. His head's jarred back.
It wasn't even helmet to helmet. He
whiplash.
Slammed his head on the floor.
Slammed the field. So that's worse than just hitting head to head because head to head, two are colliding and they ricochet.
Yeah.
There's force that like absorbed it. The field
ain't given.
The field has a little bit of turf and then it's concrete under there. So you're all that force of your head slamming, you're basically going one-on-one with a concrete wall. Then Tua proceeds to get up, try kind of like shake it off, try to jog back, and fall multiple times.
Yeah.
This was ugly. And then for them to be like, yep, he's back. Like, what the fuck? I've had concussions. You don't just come back. I mean, yes, they did win the game. In a fan's perspective, I shouldn't be.
He's a dog. He's a dog.
Yeah, he's a dog. But this is like, you're talking about the health and concern of players.
Somebody's future, right?
You know, the safety of this man, his family, all of that. Like, those all got to be put in perspective. Yeah, it is important to win a game, especially a division game, especially a division rival, especially when the Bills have whooped your ass the last couple of years. So I understand all of those key points, but McDaniels, as much as you are a good coordinator and coach, you got to look out players' health. Now,
you're a big football guy. Huge.
Speaking on players' health, next game, Chargers, Jags. I want to get right into it. Rip the Band-Aid off. So, step one, the Chargers coach fucked up because there's no way Justin Herbert should have played this game.
100p.
He had broken rib cartilage. He's playing off a perky, just like A-Rod said. And
they gave him every painkiller in the doctor's bag.
Dude, and there's no point. Like, yeah, I mean, you love to win every game. But there comes to a point where let's think about the season, not week to week, the season. Like, there's 18 weeks in the season and playoffs.
Yeah, because what could happen now is he misses next week, and he could have just missed last week.
It's week 3 against the Jaguars. Like, come on,
play
just take the game off.
Play fucking.
I would say that another way, Roman.
Why?
He fucking beat you by 3 tutties.
You didn't know that before the game, though.
See, yes, you didn't know that before the game.
No, you did not.
No, you didn't. You picked
yes, I did.
the Chargers last week, so you didn't. On pod, you didn't.
That's all right. It's all right. Whatever.
But what I was trying to say is it was a stupid decision. I hope Herbert's fine. I mean, he didn't get re-hurt or anything, but
until tomorrow,
he still took a lot of hits. The offensive line was hurt, and so they had the second, third string guys in, played terrible.
Stormin
A lot of
Norman
injuries for the
shit the bed.
Chargers. A lot of injuries. It seemed like the old Chargers were plagued by injuries. Maybe it was a couple guys going, you know what? Just call it a day. What Herbert should have done. He said he didn't want to quit on his teammates. Herb, no one is gonna take you differently if you would have been like, hey, coach, I do agree. It's probably best bet for us. Like, no one's gonna look at you tomorrow like, Justin, you should have fucking played. We lost the game anyway. Everyone got hurt. Like it was a bad game. And another thing I gotta say is, are the Jags real? They threw a goose egg on the board last week versus a team that just beat the Chiefs. Now you beat the Chargers handedly. The Jags turn around in an offseason, hired a Super Bowl winning coach,
Doug Peterson.
That offense he had running, it ran all over the Chargers. Like, not just run, but like, I mean, they moved that ball continuously all day long.
Sprinted down the field.
Yeah, and a lot of things that I hadn't seen by any teams this year. Like, yeah, we played the Raiders and the Chiefs, 2 division games, but neither of their offenses just like walked down the field. The Jags did. Like, this Jags team surprised me a lot more than the Chargers did. And the Chargers lost this game in a game that I thought they should have won. But the Jags really, really surprised me. I mean,
they put 30 out.
I mean, putting 31 up against like the Chargers is fucking crazy. I have James Robinson in fantasy, and he's been going off lately. So today I saw he had a 50. Yeah, today I saw he had a 50-yard rushing touchdown. I didn't even get to watch any of the second half games. Too busy at work. But I see that, I'm like, no way.
Chargers Jags game wasn't even really on red zone, honestly. Like the second half was because the Jags poured it on, but I was like frustrated with how lack of vision we were getting in red zone.
And I have Mike Will too, though, and he had 1 catch, 15 yards, and a tutty.
And it was the nicest catch of the game. The best
1 catch, though. You only threw him 1 time, and you have Keenan Allen out.
I'm telling you, nothing worked this game. Like, the O-line was terrible.
Couldn't run.
I think the Jags played really well.
I'm not going to lie. Trevor Lawrence did look pretty good. He was moving well in the pocket. Didn't seem too flustered when we were rushing him. Before Joey Bosa went down, we were giving him some good pressure, and he was still completing passes. And he was sharing the ball to everybody. I mean, Christian Kirk, like, you name it, he gave it to him.
Going forward, I'm definitely second guessing the Jags in every single week now.
I am too, because they played better than I've seen them play since 2017.
Maybe it was the coach. I
think it's.
It has to be the coach.
We all expected Trevor Lawrence to be good. Last year they sucked because an obvious reason.
Yeah.
You make a big change, and which a lot of people kind of question, but Doug's Doug, man. He was a winner. He was offensive coordinator for the Chiefs. Or quarterback coach, I can't remember back then, but he was a part of the Chiefs organization, went to the Eagles. They let him go a couple years ago.
Right?
No, he took a year off, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't know what he did. But yeah, they looked really good. I mean, Chenault. Oh no, not Chenault. That was
LaVisca.
That was the other game.
Christian Kirk. No, that's him. He scored.
Yeah, no, but he's not on the
Jags anymore. He's
for you're right.
Carolina today.
Yeah.
That just threw me off.
Christian Kirk.
Since I'm talking about
James Robinson, beast.
Marvin Jones, what's his name?
Since I was talking about the Panthers, I'm gonna move on to that game. We talked about Chenault.
Yeah.
With Chenault's touchdown, but the Panthers beat the Saints. I don't think the Saints are any good.
Yep, you got me finally.
Saints look very bad.
Jameis had 363 yards passing, and they lost.
Through 2 INTs, though.
I fucking wish I would have secured that fucking future.
Mr. McCaffrey had another day, 25 carries, 108
He's
yards.
back. He's fucking back.
I don't know what's wrong with the Saints team, because Jameis didn't play terrible. I mean, I know there
Chris
was
Olave had a nice day.
Chris
Olave had a
did
great
have
day, had a
nice
sick
day.
catch too on the sideline.
Yeah.
Like made a leaping catch. It was super sick. But I'm not too sure what's up. I mean, the Panthers had a defensive touchdown, which really was the game in this one. Start of the game.
Yeah.
That's basically what kept that
Saints fumbled 3 times.
Kamara got hurt, didn't he? Or no?
No.
No, he
Came
coming
back.
off an injury.
He got hurt again though, or maybe he just fumbled.
I don't think so. He fumbled. Jameis fumbled twice and he fumbled once.
Yeah, nice. Saints. I picked the Saints this week. They're on the shit list now.
Absolutely. Happy to.
We'll just hammer through some of these
Should we
games.
talk
Next
about
game,
Lions
Texans
Vikings?
Bears.
Yeah, we'll go Texans Bears. This was a shit show.
Not for
Davis
me.
Mills literally
I
gave the
learned
Bears
from
the
this.
win.
Yes, he did. He did at the very end of the game. Interceptions flipped this game, but Davis Mills continues to surprise me. He looks a lot better than my head has pictured him to be for some reason. I always
Does he?
like I for some reason I put him at like 32 or 32 quarterbacks in the league. But if you gave him some weapons, I think he might be decent. And I think that's why the Texans were okay with sticking with him this year. And like, I don't know, there's just a little something behind it. I don't know what it is.
He's a general for some reason.
You see a little
He's the
Baker in him.
general. Yeah, I might see a little Baker in him.
Because Justin Fields looked like dog shit today.
Justin Fields is bad.
And one of the
this
picks
game
was so bad. It was so bad. He threw it right to the defender.
I love to hear that. That's
It was very
why I
bad.
picked the Texans. I picked the Texans because Justin Fields is the other quarterback, and I lost.
It was
How
general.
the
It was
how
the
the
general.
fuck did that happen? And
The
then I
general
go look.
save us.
Yeah, I go look, and General fucking Davis
I think it was Damon Pierce
pick
had a
with
great
on like the
game,
20-yard line. Like you just got a fucking kickoff return, touchback, whatever. Just throw a pick.
Yeah, I
You're
put
screwed
money on I did a parlay actually is what I did on anytime touchdown scores, and Damian Pierce was on it and he scored his first NFL touchdown.
He's on my fantasy team. He got like 25 points today. You guys a beast.
He was asleep for the first 2 weeks, let's say. But
Absolutely.
all right, next game, let's talk about it. Raiders Titans. My best bet was Raiders -2 and it pushed. I just realized that right now.
No, it didn't.
They lost by 2.
That's +2.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right. My NFL brain still continues to be bad. So yeah, they lost by 2. Should have won by 2.
No, they are the
They're
worst team in the
I won't
NFL.
say they're the worst team in the NFL, but
They're
they're
not the worst team.
They're
but
not.
when they get in the red zone, it's like they don't throw the ball to Devontae. Their number one receiver right now is Mac Hollins.
No,
Are
when
you?
they're in the red zone, they throw to Devontae. He has 3 touchdowns on the season.
Yeah, I know.
He
I was just
doesn't
watching
get the
it.
ball any other time of the game. Like that's their problem is they don't get him the ball enough.
5 receptions for 36 yards.
36 yards this week, 12
Yeah.
yards last week. You're not gonna fucking win doing that. Learn the Aaron Rodgers method, and there's Devontae Adams somewhere.
Somewhere out there, just throw it.
Literally,
You're not gonna
Derek
win
Carr
with
needed
Eden Mack.
he needed anything. I was watching that game on like not red zone. I was watching it just on the fantasy app. I see a turnover and they have like 30 yards, and then they miss a field goal, or they go for it on 4th down, don't get it. A bunch of fucking bullshit was going on in that
I hope
game.
Derek Carr was watching Russ tonight because Russ threw the ball to Sutton 47 times. Every single time they dropped back for a pass, he threw it to Sutton. And that's what he needs to do with Devontae.
I don't even want to get into that game until
Yeah, let's not get into that game.
I just wanted that's the gameplay I want to see Derek Carr do with Devontae Adams for real.
no, something needs to fix because they're 0-3 and they are the best 0-3 team in the whole league. They're probably the only 0-3
They're
team.
the only 0-3 team, but they're the best 0-3 team I've seen in a long time.
They play the Broncos next week too. Yuck.
And they'll probably win that game by 30.
You think so?
That's how the crazy NFL
Are
is.
we banging the Raiders?
No,
I don't
hell
know.
no.
Whoa.
Hell no.
Don't even get me in the thinking
Pause.
about
Can you restate that sentence? That
Are
was
we betting on the Raiders?
Yeah,
this
because
No,
you did
no.
say banging.
Yeah.
You know
Whoa.
what the fuck I meant. Buck both of you.
Pause. Pause.
You're trying to bang the Raiders. That was on pod.
Hell no.
Raiders
You're
versus
not doing
Broncos.
that. They are on my
They're on the shit list,
they're
Roman.
on the shit list, but then
So
there's
are the
50 feet
Broncos.
of shit, and then there's the fucking Raiders.
The Raiders are looking at the number 1 overall pick if the season ended today. So let's just keep that one rolling.
You have to draft Bryce Young.
I talked about how bad of a pickup Josh McCown or whatever his name is. McDaniels, not
Mike
McCown, not the fucking backup quarterback.
Backup quarterback.
30 years.
For Ryan Fitzpatrick on NFL Network now.
Yeah, that's lit actually. But yeah, Josh McDaniels, terrible. I talked about it when he was with the Broncos. He was god awful. They got the number, or I don't know what pick they got, but they drafted Tim Tebow the very next season because that's how bad they were. Might happen again with this Raiders team because he is a very bad coach. They should have just fucking re-signed Rich Bisaccia, whatever the fuck you call him, and just rolled with it. The players had a connection last year. They won a lot of games with him last year.
They need fucking Chucky back.
How bad did John Gruden?
Derek Carr needs Chucky back. That's about it. The only person. It's not like he even needs Chucky back. I'm pretty sure he lives next to him.
I kind of miss him in the game.
I miss them.
I miss Spider 2-Eyed Banana. I just miss Spider 2-Eyed Banana.
Spider 2-Eyed Banana.
I just like when they hit the sideline and he's just over there mean mugging.
Guy's hilarious.
All right, moving on. We didn't even really talk about the Titans. Derrick Henry, decent.
Derrick Henry had a day. He showed a little bit of life today, but wasn't much.
He had flashes of old Derrick Henry. Breaking tackles.
Yeah.
Raiders trying to arm tackle him. Yeah, right. Good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
The Bills had a great game plan for them. Literally make Derrick Henry run inside the tackles, and they stopped him. Derrick Henry was getting outside the tackles. I know their Titans game plan was a little better because the Raiders are a little worse. But still, fucking after what Stephon Diggs did to that corner, and then you get Devontae Adams, who's arguably better than Stephon Diggs. 5 catches for 36 yards.
Yeah, bullshit, dog. Bullshit.
You can't tell me the game plan is better for Devontae Adams than it is Stephon Diggs. They have to be the exact same.
They have to be the same. Yeah, you're right. They have to feed Devontae way more. They're not going to win until they start doing that. I mean, they did it week 1. They fed him. It didn't go the way they wanted to.
I was feeling great. I was like, wow, I'm going to get 30 points per game with my wide receiver. This is amazing.
Yeah, you thought. Yeah, I feel bad for Devontae because it's just been rough out there for the homecoming or whatever.
It's not what he thought it was. Definitely not what he thought.
So far. All right. Next game. Lions Vikings. Vikings. This was a game that I said if the Vikings win the division, they have to win this game. And halfway through this game, third quarter of this game, I went, the Vikings are probably the worst team in this division other than the
I'm sick and tired of the Lions. Sick and tired of them.
You just take them on the wrong week.
I'm fading myself every week on them only.
I think that's what you have been doing. I think you need to revert back to your old method and just take them every week.
You think so?
I don't know.
Hey, I'm 2-1 when I go against them. So
God damn it. I'm about to follow your lead.
I'm 2-1 on the season with them. Or I don't know, 3-0 on the season.
I think I'm 0-3.
I think I'm 3-0 on the season with them.
They're pretty. I don't know. They're not. I can't say they're good.
They're a good team. I think they are a good team.
Yet
they had flashes of good today. I don't know what happened. I think it's lost in the fourth.
Amon-Ra got a little banged up, and that kind of slowed them down a little bit. This team moves with Amon-Ra. They have a lot of wide receivers, but Amon-Ra moves this offense. Like, yeah, Swift and all. Swift didn't even have a good game either. So that's one thing that
My fantasy team felt it too.
Yeah, definitely. And it seemed like they fed Hawkinson a lot. But yeah, D Swift, 7 rushes, 31 yards. You're not going to win if you don't give your best player the ball. On this team, going into this season, I would have said D Swift is the best player on this team.
Yeah.
Weren't they up 2 scores or no?
They were up in the third quarter, a couple scores.
Okay, because I looked at that game and I was like, oh,
Kirk
easy lock.
Cousins,
I
Kirk
won
Cousins
that.
just showed off for a little bit. Hit KJ Osborne on the game-winning TD for like 60 yards.
They
That's
were up by
that's
10 going into
the
the fourth.
Vikings are notorious of being in 1-score games,
Yeah.
and they're usually on the other side.
This game, oh, go ahead.
This game, they get a dub.
This game was filled with bad kicking. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was like 4 missed field goals this game. Like it was bad.
Take them out of the game.
But the Vikings did pull off a comeback in the fourth quarter. It didn't really seem like they were going to get it done. I remember the play where they throw the ball to Thielen and he just gets up screaming at everybody. Like it was definitely
also Jay
definitely
Jetta's nowhere to be found.
Jay Jetta's back-to-back weeks nowhere to be found.
Yeah, I saw a tweet that who's the Lions corner, Okuda?
Yeah, Jeff Okuda, yeah.
They're like his stats through 3 weeks, he's like been locked down.
And
against some
wasn't he
good
benched?
receivers.
He was benched at a point last year.
He was benched. My Lions friend expert said he was just getting healthy, so maybe he was hurt too.
Maybe.
I just want to let everybody know that my under in that game hit. I am officially 3-0 on the unders.
And not just unders, your locks.
My locks.
I'm 0-3.
You are the best gambler in the world. I just let you know.
I am on fire.
And this week I'm stealing unders from you. I'm just letting you know. Make sure
don't get too confident. This doesn't happen often.
Yeah, just letting you know, Roman.
I'm humble. I'm just thankful.
Under.
I just wanted to let everybody know, but I'm still thankful. I'm
thankful and blessed.
On to week 4.
All right,
let's get it.
All right, next game, Ravens at Patriots.
Lamar Jackson showed out.
Jackson 5 touchdowns.
You guys thought Bill Belichick was going to build a game plan for Lamar Jackson. Didn't work.
No, I have the Ravens.
I'm pretty sure you took the Patriots.
No, I brought up the good stats about
remember
John Harbaugh.
Yeah,
John Harbaugh sucks against
Bill
Belichick, and Bill Belichick is 16-2 against being an underdog, and I picked the Ravens.
Yeah, I don't know where that pick came from. I remember being stunned.
Damn, I thought you had the Patriots.
But right now, through 3 games, we gotta think about who's MVP. Through 3 games, you got 2 names up there who I am throwing under consideration right now.
Yep, 3
through 3 games. There might be 3 names. 3 names. Lamar Jackson.
Jalen Hurts.
Oh, Jalen Hurts.
That's a good
Josh
one
Allen.
there.
And Josh Allen. I was going to throw in Tua Tagovailoa in there.
Yep, he's 4, and if I have to give a 5 honorable mention, I'm probably leaning Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs, really?
I like that, Trevor. But yeah, that's a great list right there. You just did everything I asked. But the Ravens do win this game. The Patriots held in, but the Ravens finished this game. The Patriots had so many mistakes late in this game, turnovers, fumbles, drops. Like it was.
Mac Jones was hitting the gritty. Mac Jones was hitting the gritty early, crying later.
Yeah.
Hitting the gritty early.
I think the Ravens or the Patriots got the ball at start of the second half, and they scored a touchdown. And typically watching a game like that, you're like, wow, they score a touchdown, they get a little lead, they're gonna keep it. That's how it kind of feels in those Patriot games. They get a stupid lead and their defense mans up.
It wasn't just a second half, like right off the get touchdown. They scored a field goal to take the lead right before half too. So they kicked the field goal. Time ran out. It was a 50-yard Nick Folk field goal to go up 14-13. Then in the third quarter, Damian Harris had a 2-yard touchdown run to put them up. Oh, actually, they were down 14-13. I read this backwards. But they weren't up 20-14. So they still had back-to-back scores. Like, that's such momentum. Like, within that period of time from the end of the second quarter to that touchdown, that's a huge momentum change.
And I was watching that game totally expecting the Ravens to kind of fold and Lamar Jackson not to be able to do anything. Thankfully, he took matters into his own hands and said, I'm a fucking beast. Pay me. Pay me. Pay me. He had 41 fantasy points in one of my leagues. That's unreal for a fucking quarterback.
Absolutely.
All right. So
should we talk about Seahawks Falcons next?
And Ravens money line, my best bet.
Yes.
Yes.
Best bet. Shenny, congratulations.
Good job.
Hit your best bet. I am the lone average shake to hit a best bet, so we'll just forget about that. Roman, you wanted to talk Falcons Seahawks?
This was Seahawks looked good. Game. Seahawks looked really good, but Falcons came out with the win. Yeah, I don't know. Gino was a star today. Looked like he was firing all cylinders, but Cordell Patterson and the Falcons run the W in.
Yeah, Cordell had a good game. A really good game. A lot of people were thinking he's a little getting older. I mean, kind of pushed him off.
I mean, I've truly never seen a second half of your career like revamp that I've seen out of him.
Well, no one used him for the first half of his career. He was a specialist, kick return, punt returns only. Don't even think about touching the field.
Yeah, true.
That's how it was. That was truly how it was. I mean, that's how some guys' NFL careers are. You are a specialist.
Know your role and do it well.
There's a lot of specialists. Yes, Roman, know your role, do it well. He did, but he got an opportunity, and the Falcons changed his career.
Yeah, they did,
and for the better.
He looks good. Even with Matt Ryan is kind of the king of like those give it to the dump offs, you know. Well, not I want to say the king, but last year Cordell looked fucking nuts with all those just dump offs, and then he's pretty explosive. So to crib, you know, took a couple of those runs, but he's been used. He can do everything: catch the ball, run routes, run the ball. He turns into like a Derrick Henry type guy on like 1 yard carries. Like he can do it all.
He can put his shoulder down, but he can also finesse his way to the end zone.
Yeah, and
it's his second half of his career, like you said.
Yeah, he's old. Imagine if they used Devin Hester like this.
Poosh.
Yep, Falcons got their first win of the season. Marcus Mariota got his first win in a long time. Was Marcus Mariota got his first win in the longest time. Like, he was a backup quarterback forever with the Raiders since his demotion, basically, from the Titans. And so congrats to Marcus.
Yeah, it probably feels good for him over there. Maybe they go on a stride, but it's the Falcons. You never know.
Maybe not.
Maybe still not that great.
They played the Seahawks.
Not bad.
Who are also very bad.
Who I actually picked. So I guess
exactly.
That's a good
Me and you took an L there, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. So next game was
Packers
Bengals.
Bucks.
We'll talk about Bengals Jets. Get out of the way real quick.
All right.
Burrow finally they scored a touchdown. Finally on offense. This was a long time coming.
Tyler Boyd had a great day.
Yeah, Tyler Boyd had a great day.
On my bench in fantasy, not good.
Feels bad.
Bad GM.
The Jets looked really bad. Hopefully, we don't see much more of fucking Joe Flacco. So,
I want to see Zach Wilson. I really do.
I'm excited for Zach Wilson because I think that team has some talent for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
Like, their wide receivers are actually pretty good. Garrett Wilson is shown he's a stud.
If you can win a game with Joe Flacco, I'm hoping you can win a game with Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think they'll win a couple games with them this year.
Their D-line coach, Quentin Williams, almost fought the D-line coach, so might be bad times. And
That
the
guy
Jets
needs
defense.
he needs to chill out.
Yeah, he was going
Not
full
that
Hulk,
serious,
almost went
buddy.
full Hulk mode.
Not that serious. The Bengals finally look like a real team, though. I will give them props for that.
It was
Took them
against
a
the
couple
Jets.
weeks.
Took them a
That's a team
while.
that, like I was talking about earlier, finally kicked the rust off.
Took them 45 minutes
Yeah,
of game time.
and 2 weeks also. Don't forget those 2 weeks. It was basically 3 weeks for them to kick the rust off. Next game was Eagles Commanders. A lot of guys
Devontae Smith.
thought this game was going to be a lot closer than it was because it's a division and they're division rivals.
And
Smith.
another game with the safety.
Welcome back. Yes, another game with a safety. It was a late safety in the fourth quarter. The fucking football team or the Commanders finally got on the board. This team is as bad as their name. That's about it. Told everyone going in. They're going to be bad. Carson Wentz is still bad. Everyone was kind of sucking Wentz off because he's had 2 weeks. They're bad.
They were saying Carson Wentz revenge week. Yeah, fucking right.
Some people were saying that. I did hear that.
On this podcast.
And your MVP that you just said earlier went off, and you didn't pick him.
Hurts,
buddy. Hurts.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
Jalen
Don't worry
Hurts.
about it.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts had 340
I did pick
yards,
the Eagles.
3 TDs. You took the island, Washington, I thought.
No, I did pick the Eagles.
Jenny was just full of backward stats last week.
Oh, I'm pissed now. I guess I don't remember the whole pod then.
No, yeah, I was giving stats, but I went the other
You were
team.
giving stats the opposite way.
Yeah,
All right.
I like that theory. I like it.
All right.
Actually, I don't know how much I like it.
I saw a stat on Twitter though that Devontae Smith had more yards than like 5 top receivers. Justin Jefferson was on that list. Vaughn Davis was on that list.
No way.
A couple other names.
Definitely Devontae Adams.
He had 169 yards, bro. 8 receptions.
And
maybe
had a way better.
He only had 74, so
had a way better day than most receivers.
Yeah, and he did all in the first half. I felt like.
Yeah. Not Jets. Eagles looking good.
He had that sick ass catch. It wasn't a diving catch.
Eagles, man. Yeah. I picked them to win this division. I like the Eagles.
Just that whole drive, Shenny. He had like a 70-yard catch, and then he had a nice catch in the end zone.
The Eagles just piss me off because when they get on the 1-yard line, they like to do little fucking QB draws with Jalen Hurts. Just give the fucking ball to Miles Sanders.
Does it fucking work? Does it work? Yes or no?
Be traditional. Come on. What the
Jalen Hurts has like 4 rushing touchdowns.
Dude, who gives a rat?
Yeah. Trade him.
Can't trade him. Everyone fucking wants my fucking diamond in the roughs. That ain't happening.
All right, next game. We're going to Rams Cardinals because Roman wanted to talk about it.
I wanted to talk about it. I mean, the Rams, what can you say about them? Cooper Kupp is the shit. Kyler Murray.
This game was bad as well.
It was bad. There's nothing to watch about it.
Rams defense is good. That's what I have to say is, I mean, they forced the Cardinals into weird spots, bad throws. And Kyler could only target one guy.
Well, Sean McVay owns the Cardinals. He just owns them. He's like 8-1 their last 9 meetings, or 7-1 their last 8 meetings, whatever it is. And
they couldn't find the red zone. They couldn't find the end zone. Is what I meant to say.
And maybe this was the week that the beta came out or something because Kyler touchdowns.
The bed. Hey, but my boy Hollywood Brown on my fantasy team had a nice day. 14 receptions, 140 yards.
Felt like he could only throw to him.
Yeah, it was only him. Yeah.
Their second best receiver is the Dortmund from Germany.
Zach Ertz wasn't even allowed.
No D-Hop, no Rondo Moore. This team has no weapons. James Conner is only good on when he scores tutties, and you don't score touchdown. James Conner not good. It's pretty simple.
They had too many field goals to beat the Rams. That's the point of this. Is you have 4 field goals. You're not going to win the game with 12 points.
There wasn't even a passing touchdown in this game. That's nuts. That
Their
is
defense
wild.
didn't play too terrible. I mean, the Rams only scored twice, and it felt like they should have ran over this team. But
Both defenses played good.
yeah,
Cooper Kupp first rushing touchdown of his life. What I heard.
of his life.
Yeah,
really?
and it was sick.
And it was wide ass. I mean, what is it? Wasn't wide open. He had a sprint to the end zone, but nice jet sweep.
He put on the burners.
He put on the burners for sure.
Yep. And Cam Akers scored. Congrats. That's all about that game.
Yeah, just about. Next game we have Packers Bucks.
Packers Bucks. Another disappointing game for me, at least, because I picked the Buccaneers.
Aaron fucking Rodgers, baby. I'm glad I trust him.
Aaron Rodgers said he saw something
on the big screen.
Can you explain that to me? I didn't see the game.
I feel like
did they do a challenge or?
Oh, what the question was referring to was the delay of game on the 2-point conversion. So I don't, and he was also talking about how the screens and the TV screens are not correct all the time and all this stuff. And so I have not a clue what the fuck Aaron Rodgers was talking about.
I think what happened was
explain it.
They were trying to make the decision on the field, and they replayed it on the big screen. And he pointed out the time ran out, and he went and told the ref, "Hey, look at the fucking big screen. It says it right there." And the play went the other way, or the call went the other way.
Well, I don't know.
That would be so much more electric for stadiums to. The refs have to make the call on the fucking big screen in front of all the crowd and shit. That's what they have to look at to make challenges and shit.
Oh, replay.
Oh yeah, they don't watch it on that small ass screen. They watch it on the big screen.
You watch it on the big screen, and I was reading some comments on a post of that clip from Aaron Rodgers, and a bunch of former NFL guys are like, "Oh, I always hated when the replay people would show plays that would go against our favor or stuff like that," and I'm just like. Damn, that's smart. That's what I understand why some plays you don't see again. You're what the fuck just happened there? And you don't see him again. That's an advantage. You need your whole organization on your side for that type of shit.
Yeah.
But Packers win in an island game.
Yeah, great times over there in Green Bay.
Is
bad.
This the last Rodgers versus Brady game ever?
No.
Question mark?
Yeah, definitely won't be.
How?
You think Brady's done this year?
Neither of these teams look playoff ready. Playoff bound, at least.
They're going to play in the playoffs.
It's fucking week 3. Jennifer.
Both of those teams will play in the playoffs. Will they play each other? Who knows? Chinny, will you be right in week 3?
I hope not. I really hope not.
I hope that wasn't the last time we saw those two face off.
Yeah, for real.
And if so, that was the worst game possible. So.
No,
that's what we give for Tom Brady coming out of retirement.
He does not look electric at all. Yes, his team's 2-2, whatever, 3-3.
I heard Giselle moved out.
I heard he fucking taped his ring finger up so he didn't have to show nobody the ring.
Oh, it's all connecting. I heard Giselle moved out from my sources.
I heard Tom Brady's life is falling apart.
Tom Brady chose football, and Giselle said it was me or football. She gave him the choice.
Crazy.
Don't feel bad. It's not like he can't find another supermodel fucking from Sweden.
Doesn't want one. Wants Giselle.
He wants Giselle, man. You really see Tom like that?
I'm dead.
He's Tom Brady. I'm gonna see him partying with Nelk soon.
Tom Brady out in the clubs, all of a sudden kissing chicks like his kids.
Tom Brady next to 6'9", dancing in the Nelk vids.
And Steve will do it.
Tom Brady and 6'9" getting in fights together.
They just happen to run each other at Live.
No way.
All right.
The boringest game of the week.
Sunday night, 11-10, boys.
Was an absolute blooper of a game. Russ cooked though, huh?
Let's ride.
Let's ride.
Another island. Another island.
His island. This was the worst game of football I've seen in years.
And I'm pissed we watched the whole thing.
I watched the entire thing. I shouldn't have.
I shouldn't have.
If we didn't have a podcast immediately after, I would have turned Netflix on and went to bed.
And that game
Mid-game.
sucked.
Mid-game.
That was a game to forget.
I have officially came down on the Broncos. You won't hear me talk as highly as I was earlier this season on the Broncos or Russell Wilson because they fucking suck.
Thank you.
I don't care.
About time.
You were screaming "Let's ride" like 20 minutes ago, buddy.
Yeah,
Just
let's
get in-
ride still.
And somebody's head over here.
That's not true. I needed the Broncos so bad because I was losing to fantasy by 2 points. I have Russ. Tony has Debo. I'm like, wow, this is going to be a tough game. Debo gets 7 catches for 50 yards the first half, and I'm sitting there. I'm down by 2 points the whole game because Russ cannot get anything more than 12 yards.
And Debo doesn't touch the ball second half.
Yep, fantasy gods bless me. Broncos win. I get my island. I win fantasy. Let's ride.
Hate that. Hate it.
Well,
but
that was. I mean, I really have no words. It was bad football.
Jimmy
at its
G looked
finest.
just like he did when he had a fucking torn labrum in his
he
shoulder.
should not be getting paid that much.
And
Why?
guess what?
He's
just
playing
got
like he didn't think he was going to
250K.
play. He didn't.
They
He was playing like
signed
he didn't
him.
think he was going to
They
play.
signed him to think
Ride
he
the
didn't play.
bench. To ride the bench.
I was watching the pregame and they literally showed the clip of him saying thank you to San Francisco media. This is the last time I'm going to see him walking away. This is it. I'm getting traded. New team next year. New me. And he comes back.
And he's the star of the show.
First game he gets a start on Sunday Night Football. And it's the worst Sunday Night Football game maybe of all time. And he stepped out of bounds like Dan Orlowski did. Like a
my
complete
God.
idiot.
Oh my God.
He
Yeah,
cost them the
tweeted-
game. They lose by 1. He gave them 2 points. Dead
That's-
ass gave them 2 points.
That's worse than the punt butt. The punt butt, whatever it was.
Well, yeah, of course it's worse than that because
Well, he
but
saved
that's
the
just
game.
like more embarrassing.
If he doesn't step out of bounds, though, he throws a pick 6.
true.
True. Very true.
So-
Either way, that was the worst play of Jimmy G's career.
Terrible.
It's terrible. Literally so bad.
Like that basically down to the point is it's the worst play of his career. Big Cat tweeted immediately saying that Dan Orlowski is going to be trending, and I shit you not, within
20 seconds later. Yeah.
seconds he was trending all over my page. Even Dan himself was saying, "Thank God, I'm free."
I mean, his play is way worse than Jimmy G's. but
His play
still.
is way worse because he's blatantly just like running and still running after the fact, and Jared Allen is laughing at him, pointing and laughing. So that's like the best part of his play is that Jared Allen's legit like, "Ha ha, you idiot! You just ran out." Like this Jimmy G one was little bit
Little worse.
better, but still same. You stepped out of the back of the end zone. I mean, it's not easy. You don't see behind you. You don't have much yards when you're in the end zone.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to imagine how many 3-step drops have you done your whole life? Like,
Well, yeah, you have to put in
No.
your head like I only
Probably
have
a
a
million.
step drop.
yeah,
The ball has to be out before 3 steps, or this is a bad play. And so he waited to the 5th step, threw the ball. Luckily, he stepped on that white line before it was a pick 6 because that was a bad throw.
he's so lucky. So fucking lucky. Broncos suck, though.
And George was a little bit like Greg today, huh? Not
Who?
real. George Kittle
Greg.
was like Greg, not real.
Not real. Not really real.
I mean,
I don't
first
know.
game of the season, 4 catches, 28 yards, wasn't on the field that much. Probably still a little hurt. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. That game sucked. It was terrible.
It was
What a
very
terrible way
boring.
to. Usually, the Sunday night games save me when I'm in a bad mood. This one put me in a worse mood because how bad they played.
It was so bad.
I would have rather watched 2 high school teams go out and play football.
It felt like I was watching Mr. Trubisky for the second time this week.
And one time's bad enough.
Trust me, I know.
All right. Well, I don't got much to say other than that. I'm in a bad mood. I'm over it. Week
On to
3,
week
the
4.
Bucks.
On to week 4.
I probably am gonna try to erase this week from my head because a lot of weird shit happened, and I don't think I trust the teams that won as much as the teams that didn't. So
Yeah, I
Don't know where my head is. Got to hit the books on this week.
yep.
back to the
I'm-
drawing board for the Average Stakes podcast, especially my
Absolutely.
locks. So
7-8. Finally
So
hit
far.
a best bet
Yeah,
so far. Yeah, I forgot who I picked. I want to say the Giants, but
my bets have been the best thing about this
I'm
year.
sure we all picked the Giants because they're gonna lose tomorrow. That would make
Giants
sense.
too. So
Yep.
we're gonna lose.
Well, Roman picked the Giants, right?
Yep.
All right. Fuck off.
All right.
Right?
Well, we'll see you next time for the Pick'ems pod.
Nothing wrong with being average,
Come
huh?
back when the Cowboys win.